So if your birthday's in June, you actually have three birthstones: Alexandrite, Moonstone, and the Pearl. Now for June, the Pearl was like the main birthstone for a long time, and then they started adding Moonstone to it, which is considered to be a semi-precious stone, which they've added throughout all the other months. They each have their own semi-precious stone. They're typically the opaque, cheaper kind of stones. And then just recently, they added some of the coolest, and I mean the coolest gemstones that I don't know, any month could have really, which is the Alexandrite. And that's because they are the rarest gem in the world. Alexandrites were Russia's, like, one of their favorite stones was Alexandrite. And that actually matched their military uniform as well. And Alexandrites, they have quite a bit of symbolism. The Russians associated with love, tranquility, resilience, and luck and good fortune, adaptability, and transformation. After the Russian Revolution happened and the Soviet Union took over, they actually referred to the Alexandrites as a widow's stone or a misfortune, bad luck gemstone. And I wonder why that is. They were just crushing everything that was a resemblance of the monarchy of that time. And Western lore symbolizes Alexandrites with elegance, rarity, and personal growth. The where in their mind the most is Tanzania, Brazil, and Russia. When they were discovered around the 1830s in the emerald mines in Russia, and Russia had the best quality of Alexandrites for years, up until those mines were pretty much depleted now. So now Brazil is one of the leading countries in Alexandrites. And in fact, Japan bought several from Brazil, and now Japan has like a very high collection of Alexandrites currently. So the bigger they are, the exponential more they cost. But for natural Alexandrites, those typically range from anywhere from $10,000 a carat to $70,000. And usually the biggest Alexandrites, they're almost like in auctions, and collectors usually already have them, so it's like they're just super rare to get. And what's interesting too about them is the lab-grown Alexandrites are also really difficult to put together as well. So even the lab-grown Alexandrites can be expensive. And so a typical lab-grown, they range around, for 1 carat, like around $500. I was able to get my natural Alexandrites from like kind of like a limited edition collection, and it was kind of just there this spring, and I just thought, oh, this is my chance to get some, so I did. And so anyway, made some pretty cool earrings out of them, and I hand fabricated them. Figured like gems these rare deserve like full on hand fabrication, no casting involved. So for the hardness, it's actually a really good hardness. It's on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest and 1 being the softest. Alexandrites are actually around 8.5, which is really, really good. I would say 7 or above is ideal if you're going to have it in a wedding ring, just because you wear it every day. And if you want like a color stone for a wedding ring, Alexandrites would actually be a good choice for that. And I had this one ring I made that started off as an agate, but then I switched to Alexandrite because it was just going to be worn a lot. So what makes them so rare is the combination of beryllium and chromium. And those two elements together are just like oil and water. They just don't really mix well at all. But when they do, then Alexandrite is finally formed. Otherwise, it just ends up turning into an emerald. And they're usually found in emerald mines. Beryllium, chromium, well, they make Alexandrites that change color. That's the best part about them, is that they actually can look green and purple, and under certain lights, they can actually kind of look red. And so now the one thing I can't figure out is I can't get its true like color on camera. See, in real life, like how I'm looking at it right now is that it's green and like with a little bit of hint of purple, but whenever I put a camera on it, it's just for the most part more purple. So it's still pretty, but it definitely has that dual color effect. And even when I do source out these gems, they just have two different colors, and sometimes they sort of like do a half Photoshop of it. And now for the second gemstone, the Moonstone. Now, the Moonstone's been around for a long time. In fact, ancient Romans actually viewed it, they thought it actually came from the moon. They also associate the Moonstone with their moon goddess Diana. So the Moonstone actually has a lot of symbolism throughout history, and especially within the Romans and just throughout all the other cultures as well. It actually was associated with femininity, motherhood, new beginnings, emotional healing, and as well as just the lunar moon and the cycles and things like that. Moonstone was also a dream stone, and it promoted good sleep, and it's also in the Middle Ages. It was believed to be a traveler's stone because when you take it with you, it was believed to protect you while you would sleep on your journey. And in India, it was traditionally a wedding gift. But what gives it that frosty glow is the feldspar of ocalase within thin layers of albite. And that's what gives it the shimmery look to it. For moonstones, they're not super expensive except for the super large ones, really. And those are in the museum of the Smithsonian Museum, and they're pretty good size. But for moonstones, sometimes like for 1 carat, they could range around $100, sometimes $400. And for a scale of 1 to 10, on the most scale, they're kind of soft, so they're around like 6.5. So they're about the same hardness as like an opal, for example. And moonstones are mined in Sri Lanka, Australia, Brazil, and Madagascar. So the largest moonstone right now was mined in Tanzania in 2003, so fairly recent actually. And it didn't get donated until the Smithsonian Museum until like 2017. And this moonstone was 107 carats. It was pretty big. And last but not least, the pearl. Now, pearls have been around for like 4,000 years. So ancient Romans and Greeks also saw the pearls as like from the moon also, and also referred to them as divine gifts and symbols of love as well. And China, they actually thought they were linked to dragons specifically. During the Renaissance, they were associated with wealth and purity. So pearls, they were June's birthstone for a long time. And so for 1 carat, they, like by a single pearl, sometimes they can range like $100 if it's like a natural pearl versus like a culture pearl, which is kind of like how they have oyster farms and then they manually take the pearls from those oysters. So how those are made are in oysters. So basically it starts with just a tiny grain of sand and it kind of just rubs against inside the shell, and that's what gives it its luster. And it just grows and grows until it's like a actual like ball that's made from the clam, and they call it a pearl. And different types of pearls form from different colors based on the color of the shell and the clam. Some of them have more luster, some of them don't. Some of them are a little more dull, some of them are like variety colors such as like metallic green, pink, or peach, or cream. Where they're mostly mined is Australia, Japan, China, and the French Polynesia. So on the most scale, they're actually around 2.5 to 4, so really soft. They're not the best for, actually they're not a good idea for wedding rings just because you wear them every day. They're fine for like other types of jewelry that you don't like wear to everything, but for the most part, yeah, pearls are just pretty soft. Like they're easily drilled through to make pearl strings and pearl necklaces and other types of pieces as well. And so, but in fact, they can be easily scratched too, because there's a lot of colors. Some come in pink, some are peach and cream and white, and The black pearls are actually, they always kind of look more like metallic green to me. Pearl necklaces, I've seen them range from $500 to like $20,000. And now the biggest pearl right now in the world that holds the Guinness World Record is this pearl called the Giga Pearl. And it's about 61 pounds. And it's just, I don't even know, I didn't know like clams could get that big, to be honest, but it was discovered in the Philippines, and apparently it was passed down through a family heirloom until it reached this Canadian collector named Abraham Rees, and took him a long time, but he then eventually was able to get it properly authenticated. And yeah, it's not, it doesn't have any luster. It's just all like calcite. That's what gives it its kind of dull looking color to it, but it is just huge though. I can't imagine. And so to wear all three of these gemstones, all three of them are actually really good if you're cool toned. And what I mean by that is if your skin tone kind of falls more on the cooler side, that you look better in like silver or platinum. If you're warmer, you're gonna look better in yellow gold. So Alexandrite is a really good gemstone for that. Now, if you are more warmer tone, then you would probably have to wear Alexandrites in rose gold or yellow gold so that it doesn't like wash you out. And for moonstones, they come in a couple other colors such as pink, as well. You could probably wear that with gold, and with moonstones sometimes they're made in gold, so that's what you would have to do if you're a warmer tone as well. Now if you're a cooler tone, it's just a really nice gemstone for you as well. Only thing about it is that it's pretty like opaque, so it can just kind of disappear in silver or look like it, but for the most part it does have a nice shimmer to it, so it'll kind of just like show off pretty nicely. And now for pearls. Pearls are great because they work for all skin types, and if you're warmer toned, you can just wear the classic cream normal pearl necklace just super well. And they also come in like peach as well. You can also wear that, and also warmer brown color pearls as well. Now if you're cooler tone, I would suggest get as pure white pearls as you can. Otherwise, it kind of would just blend in too much, or it kind of would just look like you're not wearing a necklace even. And instead of like kind of showing off the radiance about it. Or you can also wear black pearls. Now those are really nice. Just be sure to get the ones that have a little bit more green in them, and they show off the cool tones very well. And of course, wear your metals with either silver if cooler tone or gold if you're warm. And so pearls, they're just great. You know, there's just so many different colors now, so they're just great for variety. And just mix and match and see what you like the best. Obviously, there's no like hard fast rules. And that's it for all the birthstones for June. And if you made it this far, I appreciate it, and thanks for watching.